It's official. The Pfizer vaccine is now fully FDA approved for use in those ages 16 and up. Now, this opens up the possibility of more government agencies, schools, and private companies mandating a vaccine as a term of employment. I'll get to that in a second. But first, the FDA made the approval announcement early this morning, saying, while this and other vaccines have met the FDA's rigorous scientific standards for emergency use authorization as the first FDA-approved COVID-19 vaccine, the public can be very confident that this vaccine meets the high standards for safety, effectiveness, and manufacturing quality the FDA requires of an approved product. The Pfizer vaccine has been authorized under emergency use since December of 2020. So this full approval, as I've described in several videos, has been in the works and studied since then. As for kids ages 12 to 15, Pfizer's emergency use authorization still stands. The FDA wants to see extended data for this group and also data to determine the possibility of vaccine use in kids even younger. Now, as a result of today's approval, the U.S. Secretary of Defense said the military is now mandating the vaccine for all service members. Originally, the Secretary said, as I described in this video, that the vaccine would be mandatory by mid-September or as soon as it was FDA approved. Well, here we are. It's approved. The military mandate for the Pfizer vaccine rollout is being discussed with military commanders as we speak. For the record, Google, Facebook, United Airlines, Delta, Ford, Disney, and Walmart, just to name a few, have also mandated the COVID-19 vaccine as a term of employment. Of course, the legal and medical religious exemptions still stand as well. Also, I'll remind you, the private sector has wide discretion in setting conditions for workers and customers, and businesses have a legal duty to keep the workplace safe. Federal courts across the country and even the Supreme Court have repeatedly sided with vaccine mandates. Most recently, Supreme Court Justice Amy Coney Barrett refused to block a plan by Indiana University to require its students to be vaccinated against COVID-19. Let's talk about full approval of the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine. And for the record, yes, it's fully approved by the FDA for those aged 16 and up, as I explained in detail in this video. I see all of you in the comments screaming that it's just an extension of the EUA. It's not. I know you're all looking at this letter on the FDA website titled LOA to issue with BLA approval from the Food and Drug Administration to Pfizer. This is the letter of authorization issued to Pfizer that approves their biologics license application. On page 2, it clearly says, on August 23rd, 2021, FDA approved the biologics license application submitted by BioNTech Manufacturing for Comirnaty for active immunization to prevent COVID-19 caused by SARS-CoV-2 in individuals 16 years of age and older. That's the actual approval of the Pfizer vaccine for those aged 16 and up, but here's where I think you guys are getting confused. On page 2, in paragraph 2, it says, the EUA will remain in place for the Pfizer-BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine for the previously authorized indication and uses and authorized use of Comirnaty under this EUA for certain uses that are not included in this approved BLA. Tough sentence, I know, but here's what they're saying. When they say certain uses that are not included in this approved BLA, they're talking about the emergency use authorization the FDA already gave to Pfizer back in May to be able to give this vaccine to teenagers aged 12 to 15. So this letter actually does two things. One, it fully approves the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine for those ages 16 and up, and it extends the EUA for vaccine use in those ages 12 to 15. Full approval for that group is still being considered, as I also explained in this video. I know page 12, section Y of this letter is also confusing, but here's the thing. You have to also read the paragraphs around it. So let's start with section Y. This section explains the rules for advertising for this vaccine and how the labels must be printed. Section Y says the label on the vaccine must say that it is still under EUA for those ages 12 and up. But if you scroll down to section AA, the very first line says, again, Comirnaty is now licensed for individuals 16 years of age and older. But if you keep reading in section AA, you'll understand why they're saying this. There's still millions of vaccine vials sitting in coolers across the country that now have the wrong labeling information. Those vials all say that Pfizer's vaccine is authorized under emergency use, which is now only partially true. So section Y, section AA, and section BB all together in context say that doctors and pharmacists can still use those vials even though the labeling is incorrect. I know lots of you are also confused about this new name for the Pfizer vaccine, Comirnaty. Go to part 2, it's already up. Why does this Pfizer vaccine have such a weird name? What's Comirnaty? I know lots of you have questions about that and keep screaming, it's a different vaccine, it's not even available yet. That's incorrect. If you're watching this video and you haven't watched part 1 of this series, go and watch it. That's where I explain what's happening with the EUA and why it's included in that letter that all of you are seeing on the internet. Okay, Let's talk about the new name for the Pfizer vaccine, Comirnaty. No, this is not a different vaccine. This is the same Pfizer vaccine that's been given to millions of people across this country. Here's why it has a new strange name, though. In the United States, manufacturers are not allowed to market or release commercials for drugs or vaccines until they're fully approved by the FDA. And when that happens, manufacturers usually pick a new name. The Pfizer vaccine's technical name is BNT162b2, but that doesn't necessarily roll off the tongue in a commercial, you know what I mean? So instead, Pfizer decided to combine the words COVID-19, mRNA, community, and immunity, and they came up with Comirnaty.